I have less than 4 minutes to take you through our trip to Sydney, Nova Scotia, and I know it's not enough, so I'm going to do the very best that I can, and the pictures are going to end up running way ahead of me. When we got to Sydney, Nova Scotia, I had known that my grandmother was born and raised there and worked some of her life, but since she's passed, I didn't really have any chance to ask her any questions about it. But when we arrived there and we happened to be speaking to somebody in the post office and happened to mention that she used to work around here and she was a nurse. Took a little bit of investigative work through her older obituary, but we found out, yes, the post office people were correct. She used to just work down the street. So we headed down the street. They told us to go across the boardwalk, and eventually we're kind of going to see just an empty parking lot. We were worried we went a little too far, so in speaking with somebody on the boardwalk, they said, no, you're good, keep going. But I suggest that you head up to the street and keep going because the boardwalk is going to end. So when we actually got to the street, we took a cab, and this is where we are in her parking lot. This used to be St. Rita's Hospital, where she did part of her nursing school and then worked. And so once we were done getting all the photos from there, we had the cab driver take us to the COSIT Museum, I believe it was called. When we were discussing in the post office, it was mentioned that they may have some old staff photos or something, so they thought that it might be a good try, just to see, because we might be able to find some old photos of her. So we had the cab driver take us to this museum, which, because of the time that we got off the ship, wasn't even open yet. That's okay. We stayed out front for almost 20 minutes waiting for it to open, yes, if it was because we needed to talk to them. And where she worked, we did not plan on being on this bizarre scavenger hunt about my grandmother's life today. But so right from the start at the post office, when we found out we were just down the street from where she worked, it's like, you know what, let's just see where this day takes us. So once the COSIT Museum opened, it turned out that's not the type of stuff that they have in there, but they said go to the Cape Breton Genealogy Department. It's in the old Bank of Montreal building, and it's just down the street. We're like, okay, I guess that's our next stop. We headed there. Guess what? Not open. Back into the post office, tears in my eyes. Again, just because of the timing of when we got off the ship. So I was a little concerned that we were never going to get into it, but as we were walking to the Legion's craft show, which was right across the street, we passed the Chamber of Commerce. I popped in to see if they'd be able to help me, and they looked it up, and they said, yes, it opens in like half an hour, 45 minutes, whatever it was. Perfect. So we got to spend some time at the Legion. We doubled back to the genealogy department. Like I said, the pictures are just going to keep going. We doubled back to the genealogy department. I answered very few questions because I really didn't know a lot about my grandmother or her parents. And so I don't know how they were able to do it, but the amazing genealogist at this place pulled up my grandmother's parents' marriage license. And so that was shown with a sticker in front of it to kind of block their privacy. But that was shown a couple photos ago. I now have my grandmother's parents' marriage certificate, which I think is one heck of a souvenir to be coming home from this place. Anyway, the rest of these incredible photos are once we got the marriage certificate. That was kind of the end of our scavenger hunt that we didn't know we'd be on. The rest of this is just the amazing time that we had in Sydney, Nova Scotia. I shed a lot of tears. A lot of them were happy tears. Somebody told me it was like my grandmother wanted one more day with me, and that still hits me. But we had an incredible day, and it was very beautiful. And I'm so blessed to have gone on this scavenger hunt in Sydney, as well as see its beauty.